Shields up, Iron Breakers. Work on here coming at you with another video. Welcome back to Monster Hunter World Iceborne. And before we begin this video, I just want to make sure that I point out the fact that, look, I mained the Gunlance when Monster Hunter World initially came out. I chose to main the Gunlance again before Iceborne came out, in the point where everyone was saying that the new Gunlance ability was kind of trash, was not very good. I myself said it, but I was like, dude, but I still want to make it work. I still want to main the Gunlance. I want to point that out. And I want to point that out for a very specific reason, because the Gunlance got redonkulously buffed, dude. It is so much more powerful right now. It still feels a little bit awkward, but at the same time, you guys will see what I'm talking about. So for starters, let's talk about the guard point. So now you can actually get a guard point with the Gunlance while you are loading your Wormstake Blast. So I just picked up some slinger ammo there from the ground, and as you guys know, if we blow up this barrel, we can test out the guard points and take a good look at this. We're going to slam the barrel, load the Wormstake Blast, and fail miserably. Let's try that again, shall we? As you can see that right there, you have a guard point. That guard point is actually fairly long, but the downside is that you can't reload your Wormstake Blast if it's already in there. So this is not a guard point that you're going to be using the same way that you would use the guard point on a charge blade, because you can't do it whenever you want. So like right now, for instance, I can't just load, even if I was to get another Dragon Pod, I can't just load Wormstake Blast again because I already have it, and the game just doesn't let me do it. See, if you try to load the Wormstake Blast, nothing happens. It still shows up there that you can do it, but it doesn't work. So always remember that this guard point is only going to work if you don't have your Wormstake Blast. Speaking of which, if you miss your Wormstake Blast, the ammunition now falls to the ground, and you can pick it back up again if you want to. But anyway, let's do the guard point one more time just to give you guys an idea of what we're looking for. Do remember, you know, it's got a pretty long animation, but, you know, at the end of the day, I believe that this guard point can only block one hit. At least in the field, I've only been able to block one hit with this thing. So, like, you block the first hit, and then even if you're still in the animation, the second hit is going to get you. But let's talk about the buffs themselves, right? Because last time that we tested this out, whenever we did Slam Burst on this friggin' tiny little thing, right, it was going to deal about 10 damage per shell. 12 damage per shell, something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what the numbers were, but it was something along those lines. So now let's actually take a look at what we're working with in the new and improved version, shall we? So let's do a regular Slam Burst, and after that Slam Burst, we're going to do the Wormstake Blast. Slam Burst, 31. Bam! Wormstake Blast is placed in. Let's reload. And let's go for another Slam Burst and see what we're working with. 31, 36. 36 per shell proc. Okay? And also, I don't know what the deal is with Velkhana, but she was taking like 44 for some reason. We were dealing more shelling damage on Velkhana. 31. Oh, I didn't actually get to see the number there. Let's go again. 31, 36. So basically, the new version of this thing deals more damage than the shells of a full burst itself, which means that the full burst playthrough is going to be very, very, very nice. Now, in terms of Wyvern's Fire, it's not going to be redonkulous. It's going to deal a little bit less damage than Wyvern's Fire itself. You're looking at 90-something with Wyvern's Fire and then 60-something with the procs. I don't remember if that's much more than the regular version that we had before or not. And with charged shells, what are we looking at? That was about as much damage as the friggin' Wyvern's Fire. So, long Gunlancers rejoice. Look at that, 66. The shell deals 40 damage. The fucking Wormstake Blast deals 66. That's pretty friggin' beast, if you ask me. It is still, I know what a lot of you guys are going to say, it's still gimmicky Rurikon. It still doesn't flow very well. But guys, it is so powerful right now that I feel like it's going to be worth it in the final game. Do remember, we have 0 artillery right now. 0 artillery, okay? We do have normal shelling level 5, which is what this Gunlance has, if you see right there. Normal shelling level 5, but no artillery. We do have a capacity boost, but that's pretty much it. But yeah, the buff on the Wormstake Blast actually makes it, in my opinion, somewhat usable. So, we'll see how it all pans out in the final version of the game. But right now, Gunlance is looking hella good. Like, I like the Gunlance playstyle. I was determined to do it. And with this buff... Then there's also the fact that you can combo after you do the Wormstake Blast, which I'm not sure if that was something that was available to us before. But for instance, if we do a Wormstake Blast right here, you can combo right into actually doing the attack pretty seamlessly. And remember that when you do that, you have a guard point. So pay attention, right? You're going to go into a monster, load this in his face, guard point after he attacks, and then you ram it right down his throat. Or maybe you don't want to do that attack just yet because you don't think the opening is good enough for it, right? Maybe you want to do something else. So maybe you want to load up your Wormstake, and then from that, go into your usual lunging thrust. You can do that too. Or maybe you want to go into a shell. Let me just unload this thing. Because basically whenever you want to go from that motion, you have to do it again. Which, again, I realize some people are going to be like, oh, it doesn't flow very well and all that stuff. I get it. I get it. So, you can also go into other moves, which you can do your regular sweep. So you can do this attack, your lateral thrust, whatever. You can do this attack immediately after it. And you can also shell. I'm not sure if you can charge shell, but let's try that out. That didn't really work. I guess you gotta spam it. And spamming it, you're probably not gonna be able to do charge shell. You can only do regular shell then, I guess. But you go into that. Boom, and from that you can go into shelling. So that if you are playing, for instance, wide style, that is gonna be useful. Maybe with a little bit of practice, we'll be able to do long shelling, but I'm not gonna sit here and practice. Basically, Gunlance got buffed. I'm one happy camper. I'm very curious to hear about you Gunlance players out there. How do you feel about these changes? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you didn't enjoy the video, hit the dislike button because feedback is important. Subscribe, the bell notification icon if you are interested. Stay strong. May your shields never break.